Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of the Roots to Rise podcast. Today's episode's title is The Late Bloomer's Advantage, Why Your Time is Coming. Today we're talking about something personal, being a late bloomer. If you ever felt like you're behind in life, this episode is for you, and stay tuned. Social media makes it like everyone is winning early, but life really isn't like that. I know I can attest to that. And I've felt that many times. I've had FOMO. But today we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to be talking about how social media makes it feel like everyone is winning, and society's obsession with early success, and the late bloomer's advantage. And those are 3 topics we're going to talk about. And I know being a late bloomer is not easy, but it does have its perks. So let's talk about social media. Back in the day, before social media, we literally didn't care about what everybody was up to. It was more so when we met in person or family gatherings, hangouts. That's when, we would like share stories, right? We're like, oh, that's cool. You did this, or you're up to this, or that's what you're up to, or that's what you aspire to do, and etc. And social media has its pros too. Don't get me wrong. Like, it does bring people closer, but some of the cons of social media are, so I know something that I could attest to is like when you start to kind of compare yourself to others. And especially when you're a late bloomer and you're like behind, it bogs you down. I know for a fact it's bogged me down several times, and I see others, and not that I'm jealous of other people, but it's just like, oh man, they have it and I don't, right? Or how come I don't? Or they're like or if it's like my own sibling, like my brother, like has done well, and it's like him and his wife are traveling, and now in my current situation, I'm divorced, and it's kind of like, damn it, man, like I came from the same household. Why did I get divorced? Or I see some other cousins that are younger than me, they're having kids, and I'm really happy for them. But at times it'd be like, oh man, they're traveling here, they're having kids, they're buying a house, they got their life together. So it's like, that's when I tell myself there's no need for FOMO. The best way to deal with it is, hey, acknowledge my own blessings, what I have. I don't need to hop onto social media to flaunt. I deleted my social media after my divorce, and I feel a lot better, and I feel like more genuine. I feel more humbled. Also, when people hit me up, they like care to know me, and they really put in the time and energy. It's not like just a hey or a like or leave a comment on a post. It's like, I genuinely take time to talk to people, and and the conversations are more authentic. So that's kind of like my social media kind of like FOMO situation there, that I kind of, like I said, I'm off social media. I only really use LinkedIn for professional reasons. I'll use Reddit just for information or just for like shits and giggles. I use X just to keep up with, I guess, the times, or like memes and jokes or sports, or use it for news purposes too. So that's pretty much what I've been up to in terms of social media. But like I said, there's no need to be on social media and feel like you're behind. There shouldn't be a need for that. Instead, embrace and connect with people. And because I know I've had my own journey with like feeling behind, like career wise. Like right now, like I told y'all, I'm just doing some freelancing work. Right now I'm also just doing some gig economy rideshare work. I'm currently drive for Uber, and then I apply for jobs while I'm waiting for rides, or work on this podcast, or work on my e-commerce site Pingineware, or blog. So I like to keep it moving. And I know a few of my good friends are doctors, or they own a few businesses, or they own rental properties and etc. They own homes in like Silicon Valley, and that's great. I'm happy for all of them. Like, I really am. But this is my timeline, so there's no need to feel this way, right? So Anyways, I'm rebuilding my life, and I'm happy with it. And moving on to point number 2, society's obsession with early success. Now, everyone glorifies the young millionaires, the 20-year-old CEOs, but that's not the full picture. We don't really know like what those people been through. We just see their success stories, right? Like, reality check wise, most successful people don't peak in their 20s. Unfortunately, this becomes like a comparison trap. It's fake, and then social media makes success look instant, but it's not. That's the one thing about social media is that we just only see people's success points, but we don't see the behind the scenes. And the behind the scenes, that's where the grind happens. But many people don't see that. They just see like, oh, this person's made it 30, on the 30s Forbes list, or before 30, they're a billionaire, they're a millionaire. And shout out to those people that made that, but not everybody's like that, right? So everybody's success comes later. And that's going on to my third point, the late bloomers advantage. See, we as late bloomers, we have a lot of wisdom. I think I'd safe to say we're not just late bloomers, but we're geezers in a sense that we have so much wisdom and experience that we gained that eventually our time's going to come. It's going to come. And with more life experience, we make wiser decisions. As late bloomers, we usually have an edge. Like I said, it's through life experience we get to make wiser choices. We also have better emotional intelligence. We can handle success better. From failing forward, we've already learned what doesn't work, and we are now have enough experience and wisdom that we can build with purpose. Like, we're creating a life that's actually meant for us, and that's what's a perk, I would say. And just some examples of some famous late bloomers I would like to mention. Colonel Sanders didn't start KFC at 65. And we all love KFC, or want to say most of us. And Vera Vang, if some of you guys don't know, she's one of the iconic fashion designers. She started her fashion in the late 40s. Samuel Jackson didn't get his big break in his 40s. And if those of you don't know, that's the iconic actor from Shaft. He also wears his Ivy cap backwards. So shout out to Samuel Jackson. Wonderful career. He got his big break in his 40s. And then there's me. And I'm not famous. But I'm just an everyday Joe, just like everyone. And I'm just here sharing my personal late bloomer story, man. I'm 32 years old and I'm trying to make it. Like I said, I've worked in tech, I've worked in marketing, and I've worked in content marketing and product marketing, and I love tech. And right now I'm just doing some gig freelancing work. I'm in a transition mode, and my goal is to tap into software engineering, but along the lines, I'm learning web design, front-end web development. I've built a few, e-commerce mock-up sites. I like design, so I want to stick with that, and I want to pivot into JavaScript and React, and then work my way to Python and learn a little Swift. I love tech. I love coding and build, web design and stuff, that I kind of just want to dabble into other languages and do more stuff. Some long-term goals that I have, especially for my e-commerce site Penjianware. I want to do that all. But ultimately, so that's what I'm up to. And I just want everybody else to know that it's okay being a late bloomer. We should not be ashamed that someone younger than us is better than us or whatever. Everybody's definition of better and success, it varies. It's kind of like what I pointed out in my first episode, that like when my parents said that, hey, we all have 5 fingers. Each finger is different. So we're all different. Each finger has its own sprout. We're going to bloom in our own time. We're going to blossom, baby. So just hang in there, late bloomers. Our time is coming, man. Like the famous WWE superstar John Cena's entrance theme song is "My time is now." And eventually my time is now. Or your time is now. It's all gonna happen. So once again, embrace your own timeline instead of stressing where you should be. Focus on where you're going. Some key mindset shifts are: stop comparing yourself to younger success stories. Own your own path. Even if it's unconventional, right? It's okay. For example, for me, I'm driving right now for Uber and doing some freelancing marketing work that once I pick up, I'll get, I'll get some work. But right now that's slow. So I'm just driving for Uber. I know it's not the sexiest job, but it gives me flexibility and I'm working. So technically I'm not unemployed during my the quote unquote 9 to 5. Not having a 9 to 5. I'm self-employed. So it's funny. It's not even, it's a very unique self-employed title, but it is what it is. And then when it comes to Uncle Sam time, it has its perks. But I'm not a tax representative, so I'm not going to go into that. But I'm not a tax professional, so I'm not going to get into that. But what I'm saying is that there are some perks of being, driving for Uber right now. And like I said, right now I'm just waiting for rides. It's really slow. It's Thursday, March 6th, 2025. There's over 100 drivers in the airport here at Sacramento. But anyway, I'm working on this. I applied for jobs. I work on my website. And anyways, like I'm okay doing this. And everybody has their own unique path. And then I feel like once we make it, or whenever our destination point is, we're going to look back at this and this is all going to be like, holy shit, this is what I've done. Like, so it's okay. Life is like a spiral. As long as we know where we're headed, it's okay. Like, we're going to make it. Sometimes, unfortunately, we made wrong decisions, had bad company, or made bad decisions, or just we're lost. But the fact that we take accountability and know where we're headed, but we're like traditionally a little behind others, like, comparing some other people have made it, they're quote unquote, they're married, they have kids, they have that nice big house, the white picket fences, they living the American dream. That's okay. And if that's not what you want, and you want to live on a farm, or you want to live in a condo, an apartment, in an urban setting, that's totally fine. You don't want to get married? That's totally fine. We all have our own unique destination, our endpoint, and we shouldn't compare ourselves, what our endpoint is, to others. If someone wants to be a billionaire and want to live that, fine. If someone just wants to have a few $1,000s and live a cozy life, that's fine too. That's cozy to them, and that's what makes them happy. That's all good. So that's what I'm going to say is stay patient, be aggressive. Your time is coming. Your journey is yours. It's not too late. It's right on time. I think that's, I said all my 3 points, and this brings me to the end of this podcast episode. And I wanted to say thank you for taking the time to listen. And sorry, I'm still dealing with the flu, have that cough. So just want to say, if you ever feel like a late bloomer, hear this. You're not behind. I'm going to say that again. If you ever feel like a late bloomer, hear this. You're not behind, and it is okay to be a late bloomer, because once again, your journey is yours. It's not late. It's right on time. Your success is brewing. Stay the course, mate. And as always, we gonna make it through. And that is episode 2 of the Roots to Rise podcast. It is now officially available on Spotify and Apple Podcast and Google Podcast. I just published it. I'm still figuring out, how to make up the theme songs and all that stuff. So right now, just me, organic, me candidly, and I'm speaking. So make sure to hit that follow button and leave a review, and share your late bloomer story. And I'll love to hear others' late bloomer stories. And like I said, once again, we're all in this together, and we gonna make it through, or you're gonna make it through. All right. Take care until next time.